why I got the M1 iPad Pro 12.9 inch, 1 terabyte with 16 gigs of RAM, and you should too. And stay tuned till the end because I'll have some great productivity tips for working on an iPad. So I'm Maxwell, this is Maxwell Bates Talks Tech, and so let's get into the video. The M1 iPad Pro 12.9 inch starts at $1,099, which is a $100 increase from last year. But if you're a student, you can get $100 off the price of the iPad Pro, which brings it down to what it was last year, which is $1,000. But I'll have all the affiliate things that I'm talking about linked in the video description, along with the chapter markers for the different spots. For most people, I would generally not recommend the base model, but on who and why some people should buy the base model iPad Pro 12.9 inch in 2021. Although, as a general rule of thumb, I generally find that 128 gigabytes is not enough storage for most productivity tasks for pro users. But the reason why I chose the M1 iPad Pro 2021 12.9 inch is because I found that the extra screen real estate, even though it doesn't seem like that much, really helps your productivity for being able to do multitasking and more advanced things like Photoshop and Procreate and video editing and audio engineering and all those things that are really processor intensive. I found that because you have to carry some sort of case or backpack or something like that to carry your 12.9 inch iPad Pro, because it's not going to fit in your pocket or anything. So I'll have linked in the video description my EDC video for my iPad Pro and what's in my tech bag, version 1 and 2. So check that out after you're done watching this. Why I got the 1 terabyte iPad Pro? Stay tuned to find out. The 2021 M1 iPad Pros come with a desktop level processor, which is in the iMac and in the Mac Mini, that it has the same similar configurations that a desktop computer would have on a tablet, which is insane, guys. It basically has a 8 and 16 gigabyte version, just like on the Mac. If you get anything lower than 1 terabyte, you get 8 gigs of RAM. But if you get 1 terabyte or the 2 terabyte option, you get 16 gigs of RAM. That's crazy. The previous highest spec of RAM was 6 gigs of RAM, and you had to get the fully maxed out one. And so I got the 1 terabyte one because it comes with 16 gigs of RAM. And as someone who films and edits videos and does professional work on their iPad Pro, as a student in the multimedia industry and a college student who makes YouTube videos and things like that, 1 terabyte is plenty enough. Plus, it should be plenty enough for any students who are going to school. And with the new Thunderbolt port, you should be able to edit directly off of SSDs like the LaCie Rugged Pro SSD or the Samsung X5, because LumaFusion just came out with recently a release that said that the new M1 iPad Pros 12.9 inch and 11 inch will be able to edit right off of external drives, so you don't have to transfer the footage onto your computer and then transfer it off when you're done, which is what I did in the past. So this will be amazing. And I really like the LaCie one. That one's my favorite, but I'll have linked in the video description videos on those. So if you want more information on that, check those out. And you could also use something like a PCIe NVMe Samsung portable SSD. This is the T7. It's much more budget friendly than the LaCie Rugged Pro is or the Samsung X5, but those are insane on how fast they are to work off of. It's like as soon as you transfer something, it's basically done. There's no lag. Everything's basically instantaneous, which is crazy. Why the iPad Pro needed 16 gigs of RAM, just like the desktop class legacy computers like Macs? Well, I eagerly await iPadOS 15, which is coming up really soon, so stay tuned for my coverage on that. And the hardware has to come before the software. There's no point of making something that can't run on the hardware. So the hardware comes first, then the software comes second. Developers are already announced advanced versions of iPad Pro's Pro apps like LumaFusion and Procreate and things like that for advanced features for the M1 iPad Pros, and amazing new things that will change how you work on an iPad Pro. I really like LumaFusion Procreate, so I'm super excited for them. And additionally, 16 gigs of RAM will help future-proof your iPad Pro purchase for a ways to come, because you never know what you're going to be doing in the future. You don't know what Apple's going to release. It's been rumored that there's more Pro apps coming to the iPad Pro, and since it runs the same chip as macOS does, I could see them bringing their Pro apps suite like Final Cut and Logic and all of those to the iPad eventually, which would be amazing. But of course, you don't want to buy equipment now on rumors and leaks for things to come in the future. You buy what you can afford now and what will help you right now. Of course, take all of the rumors about an iPadOS 15 with a huge pinch of black Hawaiian salt, because we don't know what's going to happen, but we have some good ideas. Finally, 16 gigs of RAM is a good idea if you can afford it, because it'll help with future-proofing your iPad to make sure that in future versions it'll remain responsive and you don't know what you're going to be doing in the future. So, I'm Maxwell. This is Maxwell Bates Talks Tech. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Like it if you liked it because it really does help, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!